So let's begin again. Let's go through Isaiah 11 and just talk a little bit about it as we go. A shoot will come up from the stump of Jesse. From his roots, a branch will bear fruit. We all know Jesse is David's dad. The Spirit of the Lord will rest on him, and the Spirit of wisdom and understanding, the Spirit of counsel and might, the Spirit of knowledge and fear of the Lord. And he will delight in the fear of the Lord. He will not judge by what he sees with his eyes or decide by what he hears with his ears, but with righteousness he will judge the needy. With justice he will give decisions for the poor of the earth. He will strike the earth with the rod of his mouth. With the breath of his lips he will slay the wicked. Righteousness will be his belt, and faithfulness the sash around his waist. He will be a righteous judge. It's going to be a good day for the poor and the oppressed of the earth when Jesus returns. The humble will be lifted up on that day. The proud will be brought low. Think of that, a judge that doesn't just judge on what he can see with his eyes or decide by what he hears with his ears, but have perfect and precise, never failing judgment. I was listening to a news story this week. In our car, we just bought a new car, or a new to us vehicle, and it has Sirius XM in it. I don't know who pays for it. We've had the car for 3 months, and it's still in there, so I'm thankful for it. But one of the stations is Radio 1, CBC Radio 1, the Canadian National Broadcasting Corporation. So anyway, I listen to a lot of Canadian news, and I was listening to a story there this week about wrongful convictions and how now they're being overturned. I guess back in the day, a lot of they used hair samples a lot back in the day to convict people, to say they were here or there or whatever. And they're discovering that wasn't such a reliable method. And so anyway, they said like three or four in the last couple weeks have been overturned. People that have been in prison for 20, 30, 40 years are now free. And just think of that. When Jesus is ruling righteously as the King of Israel, ruling the whole earth, there's not going to be any wrongful convictions. He will judge righteously. It's amazing. Verse 6, the wolf will live with the lamb. The leopard will lie down with the goat. The calf with the lion. Think of that one. A little cow with the lion not devouring them. How many of you love those videos of lions pursuing their prey? Love those. Enjoy them now. Because you're not going to, I'm sure there's going to be YouTube or GodTube or something, right? We'll be able to remember back and remember the days of the savage curse. But they're going to be together, a little child leading a lion. The cow will feed with the bear. Their young will lay down together. The lion will eat straw like the ox. The infant will play near the cobra's den, and the young child will put its hand in the viper's nest. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because Ken in a couple weeks, or in 3 weeks, is going to talk around the carol Joy to the World, where it's talking about the curse being reversed. But just think of the animal kingdom, things being made right. And he mentioned it, the lion eating straw. The lion's not going to be eating the calf. The lion is going to be eating the straw, and what that's going to be like. But just a little side note for you meat lovers, there will be well-aged wine and fatty meats at the marriage supper of the Lamb. Isaiah talks about that. So I'm not exactly sure, so just be excited about that. Isaiah 26, I think we won't go there this morning because this isn't in my notes, as you can probably tell. but talks about the marriage supper of the Lamb, the meal that's going to be on the hill on Mount Zion. And there's well-aged wine and fatty meat. So I don't know when we transition to being vegetarians, but we'll at least have a little bit of window there of eating delicious fatty meat. So have no fear. Verse 9. They will neither harm nor destroy on my holy mountain, for the earth will be filled with the knowledge of the Lord as the waters cover the sea. On my holy mountain is talking about Jerusalem, the city of the great king, Mount Zion, the place in the Middle East. We all know where Jerusalem is right now. Most of you can picture it on a map on the eastern side of the Mediterranean Sea, center of much conflict. But there will be no destruction or harm in that day in Jerusalem. And in fact, in that time, it will never be attacked again. Once Jesus is reigning from Jerusalem, there will be unending peace and prosperity from that city. And a good key for you when you're reading prophecy and wondering, well, did this already happen? Did it not happen? A lot of places it talks about, Zechariah 14, for instance, talks about there being unending peace, that once Jesus comes to Jerusalem, comes to the city, that never again will her borders be, will they be contested? They will be forever secure. And so this is the expectation of Israel. This is the messianic expectation that we have from Scripture, is that Jesus will reign from Jerusalem forever. And that city will be peace. And from that city, it talks about in Isaiah 2, that the law will go forth to all nations from that city, from this place that Jesus reigns. And again, I'm not going to take too long on it because I think Ken will probably talk more in depth in a few weeks about that. But think of the difference between Jerusalem being a center of peace compared to what Jerusalem is now. It's staggering.